I'm here with Grace Brown, CEO and co-founder of Andromeda, in beautiful South Park here. We've got a little audience as well with some of the robots. Grace, great to have you.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
And Grace has been working on this beautiful robot here, Abby. It's a personalized companion robot, but I'll let Grace talk more about it.
Yeah, so this is Abby. She's a social humanoid robot that goes into aged care homes. She's, the primary differentiator, as you can kind of tell, is she's designed with personality, and she's a character-driven robot. So we've just moved here from Australia, and super excited to be here.
Welcome to SF.
Thank you.
All right, Grace, I'm going to ask you 10 questions. You've got 20 seconds to answer each question. You ready for the rapid fire?
Oh, I think so.
All right. So Grace, tell the world why we need Andromeda.
Well, the future of humanoid robots and companion robots in our homes is inevitable. That's what's going to be, it's coming. And so depending on who's actually building this future is going to look like a really, really different reality. And we've taken a very different approach to everyone else in the market, one where it's more approachable, non-threatening, one more character-driven, not your typical 10 feet tall, Terminator-esque, faceless militant. So it's a different future, and that's why,
Why did you choose robotics instead of just another app?
Well, we know that we live in the physical world, and so that with physical products, we also know that one of the 5 love languages is physical touch, and a lot of connection and relationships are built through, contact. We are tactile people. People love to hold Abby, they love to hug her, they love to kiss her, they love to dress her up. So having a physical product is equally as important as having a sophisticated software stack.
There's various different mental and physical challenges in different regions across the world. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that robots are the solution towards this loneliness problem?
I think in the period of where we are right now, with the cost of hardware going down, with the ubiquity of LLMs, robotics just has a really meaningful opportunity to play a meaningful role that's not just utility-based, but also building meaningful relationships. A lot of these industries, there's not people there to solve that problem and fill that void, and our customers always say that they believe it's not people who's going to solve the problem, but technology.
Give me an honest take. Do you think that do you think Abby could be a replacement for therapy?
I don't think Abby will be a replacement for therapy. I think she'll be an additional resource for people who require it.
What is one specific customer interaction that you've had that makes you feel like what you're building at Andromeda is crucial?
Let me have a think about this one. I was in a customer home one time, and I was sitting with the residents, and they didn't know I was the founder, and I'd asked one of the residents what they thought about the robot up at the front, Abby, and she snapped back at me and she was like, "Don't call her a robot, her name is Abby." And so that really demonstrated to me the fact that people had built these real meaningful relationships with her.
Feels like a true companion then.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
All right, so
Biggest mistake I've made.
In the time that you've spent building Abby, what do you think the biggest mistake you've made has been so far?
I think the biggest mistake we've made so far is making sure you have the right co-founders on board early.
Very important. I love the honesty. Co-founders' struggles are the #1 reason startups fail, so very good answer.
It is.
If Andromeda succeeds, what's that one quiet thing that you think is going to change in everyday life that people won't even notice?
The thing that will change when Andromeda succeeds is the fact that everyone's quality of life will significantly improve. The data shows that loneliness has greater health implications on an individual than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And so Abby was really designed and built to address the loneliness epidemic, and so once she reaches ubiquity, which we are just pre-ubiquity, I think people will see a real significance in the quality of their life.
What's something that seniors do with a robot that you didn't expect at all?
I think one thing I didn't expect, but looking back kind of makes sense, is as Abby's evolved, they view her as a child that's growing up. So the first Abby that went into a home, she couldn't walk, she was static and she didn't move. And once we gave her wheels and she could navigate around the home, the residents all celebrated like they'd watch a grandchild walk around a home for the first time. So I think the attachment to her growth journey was unexpected, but very delightful.
That's amazing, wow. What's one thing that people have a misconception about with humanoid robotics that they're just completely wrong about?
I think a lot of people assume that humanoid robots are only built for like capability, but the next wave of humanoid robots are going to have a level of social intelligence where they can actually build meaningful relationships with people. So people don't expect robots to have personality or expression, but that's, you know, the next wave of robots are going to look very, very different.
What do you think one of the most important parts when building a robot is to make it more empathetic, more human than feeling creepy, which, you know, we've seen with a lot of robotics companies?
The design philosophy is unbelievably important. Also why you need a physical product. Like we've modeled her off the size of like a young child. So 4 feet tall, anthropomorphic, so she's got arms and legs, nice oversized eyes, so it's non-threatening and approachable. She's bright and colorful, so people don't assume that she's gonna do anything violent. So yeah, I think the physical design philosophy is unbelievably important when building your product.
So last question that I always like to close off with is, what is your favorite consumer hardware product? Can't be Apple.
Can't be Apple. Okay. My favorite hardware consumer product. I have to say my Whoop.
There you go. Whoop is the answer. All right, Grace, thanks so much for hopping on the rapid fire. We had some amazing guests with us here.
Yeah.
And maybe we can ask Abby some questions once all the other guests leave, you know? Don't want to give them too much FOMO.
Sounds good. Questions that you could ask